You guys don't lose faith. You have no idea how motivated I am. On today's episode of Claire Recreates, I'm making Nutter Butter. We are going to circle back on Kinder Bueno. Basically, every time we stop filming, I kind of forget about it. And then it's like, oh yeah, we still need to make a mold. And then every time we get back together to film, we're not ready, but it's gonna happen. So we've been doing some international Claire Recreates, which have been really fun. And I'm very into them. But now we're coming back home and we're doing Nutter Butter, which I really can't believe I've never tried before. I'm gonna open up a package. Peanut butter sandwich cookies. Oh my gosh, I love them. They look delightful. I'm kind of obsessed. There's only like a handful of cookies that I would like buy at the store and bring home because I'm like making so many. And Oreo is one of them. This could be a new one. Crisp cookie. These are phenomenal. They're not that sweet. Really good texture. No, the only thing is I think it could be more peanut buttery. These are so good. So like sugar does an interesting thing. Sugar is a flavor enhancer until you get to a certain point. And when you go past that, it's all you can taste. It actually like diminishes the other flavors. And that's often what happens with store-bought stuff because it's also a preservative and it enhances texture. So like there's just so much sugar for like shelf stability and texture that you can't taste anything else. But this is delicious. I taste peanut butter. Where have these been all my life? Just in every grocery store in America.
Can I have one?
Making everyone hungry.
It's really good with coffee.
Let's check out the ingredients. Unbleached enriched flour, parentheses, wheat flour, niacin, reduced iron, thiamine, mononitrate, vitamin B1, riboflavin, vitamin B2, folic acid, close parentheses. It's a lot of stuff in one ingredient, which is supposed to be just wheat. Sugar, peanut butter, parentheses, roasted peanuts, corn syrup solids, hydrogenated vegetable oil, and then bracket, rapeseed, cottonseed, and soybean oils, salt, peanut oil, close parentheses, soybean and or canola oil, whole grain wheat flour, high fructose corn syrup, palm oil, salt, leavening, parentheses, baking soda, calcium phosphate, close parentheses, soy lecithin, artificial flavor. It's not the best I've seen, it's not the worst. I mean, the first ingredient is flour, the second ingredient is sugar, the third ingredient is peanut butter. I can work with that. There's no dairy, so it's like the additional fat is oil. I'm wondering if the high fructose corn syrup is the ingredient in the filling to sort of keep it like soft. Let's kind of get into some of the measurements. I actually just want to trace one. I'm only going to work in inches here because that's all I have on this. I don't know where the ruler is. End to end, it's 2 3/4 inches. And then there's kind of two different widths to measure. There's like the waist, which is 1 1/8 inch. And then there's the kind of hourglass part, which is 1 3/8. Top to bottom are 4 lines going down. And then across there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I want to cut this in half. It's a really nice like 1 to 1 to 1 ratio of cookie thickness to filling thickness to bottom cookie thickness. The thickness of each one is about 1/8 of an inch. Let me just separate them and see if it's the kind of thing where like with the Oreo where like the filling comes off on one side. I think there could maybe be a little bit more filling. It's kind of dry. It's very, very solid. It's a little bit crumbly, which is interesting to me. I'm gonna just taste it on its own. It truly, literally just tastes like sweetened peanut butter.
That's the texture of the conveyor belt, right?
Yeah, that's the conveyor belt. So I decided that I didn't want to deal with silicone caulk anymore to make a mold, that whole thing was like unnecessarily messy. So I got this. It's a wood carving kit. Because separately, totally aside from this project, I was thinking about holiday cookies, and I was like, just like doing some Googling and like looking at some photos, and I came across like stamped cookies. So there's like a whole genre of holiday cookies made with a cookie stamp, and they're like, you can make them into like snowflakes, like whatever basically you stamp dough and it takes the form and then you bake it and it looks like it. And it was like, oh, that actually is kind of like the same idea here. It's like you stamp a cookie from above and it creates a kind of like surface pattern, and you bake it and it keeps that shape. So it's like, that's basically what this is. So then it led me to being like, okay, can I make my own cookie stamp? Usually they're made out of wood. or like aluminum, but it's like, okay, so if I do it out of wood, like, can I just make my own? And then that led me down the route of like a wood carving kit, which is like, that's a thing. And I'm actually really excited because it's a craft project and I love craft projects. Here's my game plan. 1, cookie stamp. 2, make dough. 3 is bake. 4 is filling. And 5 is assembly. The kit came with a block. It's gonna be tight. It just barely fits. And one question mark I have is like, do I need to make the stamp exactly the same size as the cookie, or do I need to make it a little bit bigger to account for some like shrinking? But you know what, it kind of decides for me because I really don't have much room to make it any bigger. So we're just gonna go with making it the exact same size. Is this the part that I'm the most excited about? Yes. I just like craft projects. I like doing stuff with my hands. And this might be a new skill that I'm gonna pick up. So that sounds very exciting. And I found this really great little kit. And it comes with these like little finger protectors, which I'm very into. And they're like weirdly perfectly sized for my miniature hands. You know what, I actually wish I had a pencil. Let me get a pencil. Ah, there's a bug in here. Ah! I can't find a pencil. Oh, here's one. Oh, good. Ah, God. Oh my God, this is ridiculous. Oh my God, this is so stupid. I just broke the pencil. Why is everything hard? I got the pencil out of the package new and I broke it, and now this is what I'm working with. This is the broken pencil half. Vince actually knows how to do wood carving. Can I sit while I do this?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's gonna be a while.
So go away from myself. Yeah?
Yeah, towards that finger protection.
Oh my God, this is gonna be a while. This is gonna take a long time. Do we need power tools? I'm already frustrated. I've been doing this for less than 30 seconds.
I like to go outside, but if you want to turn on Real Housewives or something.
Oh, so you like to go outside, but I want to watch reality TV. You are 100% right, by the way.
Something peaceful.
I love background noise, something peaceful. I told you, I've said this before. Middle-aged women screaming at each other is my peace. It's so entertaining.
Would you ever want to be on one of those shows?
No, I'm the most boring person in the entire world. Are you kidding? I don't like to go out. I don't really like to talk to people. I don't really drink. And I don't really like to spend money. So I have the whole shape established. Now I'm going to switch tools to like a wider one and take out that top layer of the wood, and then I'll draw my lines. Ooh, this part is so fun, very satisfying. Does my eye look crazy?
Your eye?
Yeah.
Can't even see it.
Okay. Just look down the whole episode. I have carved out what I think is an even layer in the bottom. What I want to do is just get everything in here nice and smooth, so sand it out. Oh my gosh, this is working really well. This is so cool. Actually, I can't really see what I'm doing. Ooh, this is really satisfying. The sandpaper was really effective, and I have a nice smooth, what I think is like an even surface. I'm gonna go to a finer sandpaper and do another little round of sanding. Before I carve the lines, I'm gonna knead together a quick dough out of just like a tiny bit of flour and water, just to test and like take an imprint and just see how the thickness is. This is a cannoli mold. So here I have essentially my test dough just pressed into and mostly like flush with the top. So let's peel it out and see. I think it's a really good thickness. So now I'm gonna make my lines. So I'm gonna use my pencil just to draw in my guides. I'm gonna freehand this part using the original as my model. So there's my drawn on lines. Now I'm going to switch tools. There's this one that has, it's like a V.
Careful. Don't cut yourself.
Oh yeah. The curves are a little tricky. I can kind of connect the vertical lines and do them kind of shorter. This is a very fine sandpaper, giving it kind of a final finish. And now I really want to clean this out. And according to Vince, who knows stuff about woodworking, don't really wet it. This is canned air. I have a little bit of board cream. It's like a mixture of beeswax and mineral oil. This goes on wood cutting boards. I'm just gonna get a little tiny dab. This just is like conditions the wood. The wood absorbs it. And I'm just gonna kind of smear some on here. It's gonna help to give it a little bit of like more of a non-stick coating. And actually, I might wanna kind of work it in with the brush. I don't wanna put too much because I don't wanna like fill in the lines with the board cream. I want just like the tiniest little coating all over the place. Step number 1 is done. I made the mold. Cookie stamp. Mold, same thing. So now I'm going to pull out my peanut butter cookie recipe. I have a really good recipe in Dessert Person. What I need to do, I know, is to increase the amount of flour in the recipe. So the higher the proportion of flour, the more likely the cookie is to maintain its shape, and I need it to hold all of that detail. I have about a cup of peanuts. They're roasted already. I'm just gonna grind this until it's something very, very smooth. While this is grinding, I'm gonna get my other ingredients for my dough. Butter, sugar, a little vanilla, flour. Okay, so I'm gonna give this a mix. So the texture is pretty grainy, so I'm gonna let it go. And what I think I'm gonna do is actually just add a little bit of the natural peanut butter that I bought, and I'm gonna just mix it all together. This is really good peanut butter. I love this peanut butter. That got really smooth. This looks really good. So I think I'm done. It's quite loose because it's warm, but it got really, really smooth. I'm gonna set this aside. I just remembered something, which is that the ingredient list, kind of further down, mentioned whole wheat flour. So that's kind of great. I love the idea of adding that. It will add like a little bit of like, you know, more complex flavor and a little like nutty savoriness. So I'm gonna do that. I have here, this is like a cool product that I noticed in the grocery store. It's just like a less refined granulated sugar. So I'll still get like some of the flavors of brown sugar. So I'm kind of into this product and like excited about it. So I'm gonna add a cup of sugar to my stand mixer bowl.
How much does a cup of sugar weigh?
A cup of sugar weighs 200 grams or 7 ounces. Then I'm going to add a cup of peanut butter. Any remaining peanut butter will be for the filling. So I'm doing a butter-based cookie. What I like about this is I get all the benefits of butter flavor. The original Nutter Butter is definitely like an oil-based cookie, but I'm adding oil to the dough via the peanut butter. I'm adding peanut oil that way. Okay, so this is gonna go into the bowl. Now I'm going to add butter, 2 sticks, it's room temp. So I'm gonna start just by mixing all this together and kind of creaming it. Although I don't really wanna, do I wanna aerate it? A little bit. I wanna aerate it a little bit because I'm not gonna add a lot of leavening, so I'm not gonna add a lot of baking soda. That means that I'm not gonna get a lot of chemical aeration of the dough when it bakes, so I can add a little bit of air into it now manually by beating this together. I'm gonna set the peanut butter aside, and now I'm gonna put together my dry ingredients. So I'm gonna add extra flour. This is some whole wheat flour. It's actually really cool. It's a locally milled flour, but it has a really, really fine texture to it, which is good. And they're not gonna be like big pieces of bran in the dough. 65 grams of this. So the original recipe called for a half teaspoon of baking soda. I'm gonna do a quarter. Now salt, make them pretty salty in a good way. I'm gonna add a little bit of vanilla to this mixture. So I'll give this a whisk. There were definitely no eggs mentioned in the ingredient list. I think I'm gonna go down to 1 egg because egg kind of creates a puffing for the cookies, and I don't want it to puff too much. But the egg is also important, like binding for everything. So I'm gonna add 1 egg. This is room temp, which is important. The egg blended right in. I'm gonna add my dry ingredients. So this has just that little bit of baking soda, and then flour, a little whole wheat, and salt. So here's my dough. You can see it's very thick, which is good. The tighter the dough, the thicker it is, the more it's gonna hold its shape. One thing that's great about peanut butter cookies is because the fat content is so high, because peanut butter has so much fat in it, the dough is kind of like greased. Like the dough is not sticky. So I have a little bit of flour on this brush, kind of working that in. I can tell this is too much dough, but let's say that this was the right amount. It's gonna work. It's stuck a little bit. I think I just need to try flouring this mold a little bit more. And I'm gonna now use my scale to try to really get a weight on how much is gonna fit in the mold. So that's 11 grams. I'm gonna grab a little bowl of flour. Wow, it's really a really small quantity of dough. It's not working.
Can you line it with plastic?
I think if I tried plastic, I would lose a lot of the detail. All right, let me weigh this. This is such a tiny amount of dough. This is crazy. I have so much dough.
So you could make a family pack.
9. Let's call it 10 grams. I probably could make a family pack. I should also get like a little firm bristle brush to be able to clean out any like crumbs that stick. The flour alone doesn't seem to be really working too well.
What about little pull tabs?
Okay, here's my new idea. All right, so starting over. If I have a 10-gram portion and I kind of work it into like a rough peanut shape, and then I flour the mold, and I flour the top of the dough. Let's see. Okay. This will work if I can get it to unmold.
I think you should just try plastic and press really hard and see if you get it.
Cal, I don't think the plastic is gonna work. I don't think the plastic is gonna
Try
work.
one time just for Cal.
Okay, fine. I'll try one time for Cal.
What if it works? And I mean, I'm not
Then I'll
saying
have
you're
to be
wrong.
like you.
You're probably right, but if it works, then it.
No. You actually you make a good point. I'm gonna get a new 10-gram piece. It kind of worked. What if I used like plastic, dough, parchment, and then this? Let's put that plastic back in. I think kind of like pre-molding it in is good. One idea is individual pieces of parchment. Just have each cookie baked on its own little personal piece of parchment. Wow, I can't believe I need to put even less dough. Maybe I should test a couple things of dough. So I'm just gonna roll out some dough really thin and cut into rectangles and just test that. What I really wanna test with the baking is temperature. I'm gonna bake them really low. I'm gonna bake them at 300 because at that temperature, they won't get a lot of browning. They're gonna bake really evenly, they're gonna dry out, and they're not gonna spread. I'm gonna check after 10 minutes. Might take a little longer. I think in order for me to be happy with how it looks, I have to chisel out the lines a little bit deeper. I have my test batch. The color looks great, really, really similar. It's extremely delicate. So it's like this, it requires a little bit of force to like get that snap. This one, it almost like breaks apart in my hands. I think that the consistency of the dough looks really good, but it like dissolves into crumbs as soon as you eat it. It also like eats a little dry. So what that tells me is that I didn't develop enough gluten. So what I actually think I need to do is mix a little water into this dough to get like a little bit of gluten development. So 3 tablespoons of water. I want to develop gluten, so it's like mixing it is helping me. Okay. This feels better. It feels so much less crumbly. You can see it like it definitely looks different, right? 10 grams at a time. Whoa, it's so tiny. So I'm just kind of like pre-shaping my 10-gram portions of dough into a kind of rough peanut shape, like a little bow or dog bone or something. Hopefully after this, it goes fast with the stamping. It looks really good. Let's go with it. That one was really a good one.
It's really good.
I think so. What I want to do is get this into the freezer actually, but like 5 or 10 minutes, just to like give the cookies a head start, and it's going to help them to hold their shape during baking. I'm gonna set it for 20. I think it's gonna go at least that long. 20-minute timer went off. They smell good. They smell baked. Ooh, they're definitely done. I can see that they got a little bit darker, but not too dark. Like color-wise, they look really good. Okay, I definitely lost some definition, but they still look like peanut. I have to work on the shape a little bit and maybe do some more trimming. All right, theirs looks a little better. Mine spread a little. It's like super even, just slightly browned. I'm happy with this. For my peanut filling, I have half a cup of peanut butter in my mixer. So my idea for the filling is to make what is basically like a peanut halva. You stream a cooked sugar mixture into a nut butter, and it makes this cool, almost candy-like texture. So I have 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar here. I'm gonna do another tablespoon of light corn syrup and then a tablespoon of honey because I want the flavor. And it's also an invert sugar like corn syrup, so it's actually going to help to keep the filling a little bit soft. And now to my peanut butter, I'm gonna add a little bit of salt and a little bit of vanilla. I might need to add a little bit of water to get everything dissolved. So in the beginning, I'm gonna just stir because I need the crystallized honey to dissolve and the granulated sugar to dissolve, and then I'm going to stop stirring. But the presence of the corn syrup will really keep this mixture from crystallizing again. I'm going to get this going just to get it mixed. This mixture has to come up to 248. So take a temp. I think I'm there at 248. I'm going to stream this into my peanut butter mixture, and I really want to let the mixture drizzle down the side into the peanut butter. Otherwise I'm going to hit the beater and it's going to splatter it like all over the sides, which I don't want that to happen. You know what the problem is? I'm using the scraping attachment.
Do you see how it's making streaks on the side?
Yeah.
Is that what you mean you don't want that?
Yeah. Yes, it is. I'm going to try to scrape down the sides if it's still malleable and get it into the bowl.
You missed half of the bowl.
I don't think it's soft enough over there, is it? No, it hardened. I'm gonna beat some butter into this to give it a little bit more pliability. Almost like I'm making a buttercream. All right, I'm gonna taste this. Ooh, it has a cool texture. Delicious, not terribly sweet. I don't think they really need to chill or anything. All right, I'm really happy with how that turned out. I'm going to snip maybe like a 1/2 inch opening in the bag. I'm gonna pipe the filling. It's room temp, but it's still soft enough to pipe, which is good. And I'm gonna pipe a kind of petal or teardrop shape with the rounded side on either end, and then the points going toward the center. The idea is to like recreate a kind of peanut shape, and then sandwich. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. This assembly method works well. I'm gonna now just do all of them. They really look like little peanuts. I actually really like the way mine look. I don't know why I want to put it this way. There's something friendlier about the way mine look. It's like in soft focus, where theirs is like very sharp. I think the size is really good. The thickness, mine are a little bit thicker than the original, but that's okay. I still think I get high marks for like visual similarity. I really like the way the filling turned out. I think piping it worked really well to get that same kind of like peanut shape inside the cookie. Nice snap. The cookies, despite not having a lot of leavening, have like still like a nice sort of aerated texture, which is nice. So I'm gonna try it. Nice crunch. Really peanutty. Good salt. Not too sweet. Mine has a little bit of like the grit from natural peanut butter, but not in a bad way. I actually think it's like incredibly similar in overall taste and texture. My cookie is a little more tender, like a little less resistance to bite through, but like it's a pretty faithful recreation of the original. It's like, did I improve it? I don't know.
Less ingredients?
fewer ingredients. This may be a little more peanutty. An entire day of fun. I'm also glad that now I have a thing that I like, where it's like when I go, if I need a snack at a gas station, I know what I'm going for. They're really good. I kind of love these, and I'm happy that they're in my life. So weird silver lining of this episode, didn't see that coming. But like, these are delightful. I love them. If you have suggestions of other treats, whether local or international, let us know. We are going to circle back on Kinder Bueno at some point. I can't promise it's gonna be the next one, but hopefully I'll see you back here for another episode. And thank you for watching Claire Recreates. And don't forget to like and subscribe.